David, Nike doesn't have a salary cap. So was it easier to negotiate with Nike, even though the money was so massive? I mean, listen, it comes down to math. Michael was selling so many. He still sells more shoes than anybody else. Were the Nike negotiations, because of what you were making, which is still today a bloody fortune, were those ever contentious?
No, because the guy, Rob Strauss, was the head of marketing for Nike, and he and I, by 1984, developed an extremely close relationship. We basically didn't have negotiations. I would tell him what I thought was fair. He trusted me. There was very little back and forth. And, you know, the irony of the Air Jordan deal, it's probably the best deal ever made, and it's probably the worst deal ever made, because no one had a clue, including Nike, that you could sell $100 million worth of shoes for a rookie in his first year.
Yeah.
Their goal, as I've said on a number of interviews all over the Twitter world, you know, their goal was to get to $3 million by like 1987. If I knew we were going to sell $100 million in year one, I would have asked him for $1 a year and a 50-50 royalty, and he'd be making $1 billion now. So, you know, a lot of this, you know, you just didn't know it could exist.
Right.
No player before him had their own shoe. Magic didn't have a shoe. Bird didn't have a shoe. Doc didn't have a shoe. Isaiah didn't have a shoe. Jabbar didn't have a shoe. No one had their own shoe in basketball. The only player that I could remember outside of tennis or golf that had a shoe was O.J. Simpson with a really small company called Spot Built that we actually talked to for Michael. So, you know, the deal was groundbreaking, more in terms of disproving the notion that a player had to be in the league 5 years and establish himself before he could become marketable. Michael broke all the boundaries, and today all the young players that want to have a brand, even though I think 99.9% of them don't remotely even have a brand, and they spend oodles of dollars with these huge agencies trying to, you know, do their social media consulting. Michael, you said Michael sells more than every player who has their own shoe combined.
Wow.
Right now, probably times two. You know, he sells twice as much as Under Armour's whole company.
You know, before y'all start being idiots in these comments, you know, listen, LeBron's one of us. He's December 30th, 84. I'm August 2nd, 84. He's one of us, dude. Okay, he grew up, he idolized Mike. You ain't never gonna pit them against each other or anything crazy. Number two, you know, Mike is Mike. Everybody know Mike is Mike, and Mike respect LeBron. So, you know, Stephen A. Smith and all y'all and people on ESPN during the pandemic, what y'all was doing, man, pitting them two black men against each other, I ain't like that at all. That's why I don't watch First Take no more, and it's really why I don't really mess with Stephen A. Smith like that no more. So don't be coming in my comments with that, dog. These are two of the greatest African-American men of all time, and they both have inspired me in so many ways, inspired millions of other people. So don't come in my comments with all that. And if y'all see somebody doing it, report their comments, man. I ain't in the mood for it.
My ducks, my swans, welcome to the pod.
My name is Dorian from Group82Music.com, and right here, I'm going to talk about how Nike ripped off Michael Jordan. Michael Jeffrey Jordan, born February 17th, 1963, if I remember correctly. Yes, because Charles Barkley's February 20th, 1963. Now, I think Charles was born in Leeds, Alabama. I don't know. Fact check me. But, you know, I was a huge Jordan fan. When I was born in 1984, that's when Michael Jordan came into the NBA. When he retired in 2003, that was my freshman year of college. You know, it was my entire childhood Michael Jordan played basketball. And what David Falk was talking about right here, the expectations people had, I didn't know this until I got a little bit older. But when I tell y'all that he was bigger than life, there's no celebrity on earth right now that is competing with Jordan. I can't even say Ronaldo. I can't say that because Michael Jordan was massive in every single country. He's one of the most famous people of all time. His brand, what he did with Jumpman, is an iconic symbol of excellence. And it's one of the greatest logos of all time. And Nike was this little company that Phil Knight was trying to come into the basketball realm because he realized there wasn't a lot of money in track and cross country, and hit jackpot's not even the word. I don't know what you call that. They projected that Jordan's rookie year, he would sell $3 million in shoes. They gave him 5 years, $500,000 a year. Great deal around the table for everybody. We're going to give you $500,000 a year. You're going to make us $3 million a year. Great deal for a 21-year-old out of North Carolina in 1984. This man sold $126 million worth of shoes his first year. Unfathomable. The shoes were retailing for $60. This is the 80s, man. Insane. Nobody had ever been that famous, that popular. Sold that many shoes. It changed. It changed everything overnight. Changed everything. This entire sneaker culture that y'all are so obsessed with, Sneakers app, StockX, and everything else, where do you think that started? Wasn't nobody doing that for no Chuck Taylors. They wasn't doing that for no Dr. J. They wasn't doing that for no Shell Toes. They was doing that for Jordans. That's where all that started. This man is the most underpaid employee of all time. This man didn't even want to go with Nike. Converse offered him $100,000. Adidas didn't even offer him. This is how absent-minded people were to Michael Jordan. David Falk said if he could go back in there, he would renegotiate that deal. He would take $1 salary and do a royalty deal. Michael Jordan has a lifetime deal with Nike right now, and it's worth $1.3 billion. That's what he's going to get from Nike. If he would have done David Falk's royalty deal, that 50%, he would have made $1.5 billion in 2019 alone. Because the Jordan brand for Nike sells $3 billion worth of merchandise every year, minimum. This is why I tell y'all to build a brand. Michael Jordan has one of the strongest brands ever. The fact that he's only getting, and I know all you socialist people gonna get mad, but the fact he's only gonna get $1.3 billion from this is insane. Michael Jordan should be almost a trillionaire because that's how impactful he was on everything. Not just Nike, Gatorade, Upper Deck, Ballpark Frank, Hanes, the NBA, he changed everything, man. You gotta build a brand and you gotta know your worth. You gotta get on top of these royalties that you're gonna get from anything and everything that you're making with this content. You gotta understand that you gotta have equity in things that you own. Anybody comes to you with a deal, needs to be a royalty deal, and you need equity in that company. You gotta understand NFTs and smart contracts and where that stuff's going. Because even if Michael had made those mistakes on that first initial contract, it's a static contract because it's 1984. If this was now, he could have done that in a smart contract where if he had reached certain benchmarks or things did this or whoopty-whoopty-whoop, the contract would automatically update and he might be able to get his 50-50 royalty deal. Because if you Nike at that time and he puts in his smart contract, if we do over $50 million in sales, I get a 50-50 royalty deal off of everything in perpetuity. Nike would have did that. They only projected $3 million. You think you're going to do 50? Dude, please. And he would have doubled that. He could have put another kicker in there. All right, instead of 50-50, now it's 75-25. If I do over $100 million. He did $126 million. This is where all this stuff is going. This is where, I'm sorry, not going. We're here. Build a brand, monetize it, protect it. That's what we're doing. The Jordan name will be synonymous with Michael Jordan and old money forever. Who else is trying to join that list? Ain't no trying to. I am going to join that list. Who's trying to ride with me? You trying to ride with me? You on Instagram, click that link up top. You on YouTube, click that link in the box. Mouth to pond. Y'all stay true.
Rotate. Group82music.com.